Welcome to Girls Like Us podcast. Welcome to Girls Like Us podcast.
Only in my pain did I find my will. Only in my chaos did I learn to be still. Only in my fear did I find my might. Only in my darkness did I see my light. Hi guys, welcome to Girls Like Us.
This is Charlotte.
And this is Venus. So, tell us what's going on. What are you doing this weekend?
Oh my gosh.
Give us the 411.
Thanksgiving is coming up.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Give us your Thanksgiving plans.
Eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep.
You can't steal my
I'm
plan.
sorry. And watch TV. Total relaxation. I'm probably going to just chill out. I'll probably chill out. My son probably has to work 9 out of 10, and my other son won't be home. And I think that's what my Thanksgiving is. Just chilling like a villain.
Me, I'm already planning my whole Thanksgiving, my Thanksgiving dinner. I'm probably gonna work my other job that Wednesday night. So like, I'm gonna come home, sleep, wake up, eat, watch a couple movies that I have there that I need to watch. Sleep again, wake up, eat, sleep, maybe read, wake up, have my Thanksgiving dinner, and thank myself that I put a roof over my head, that I feed myself, that I pay my bills.
Yes, so much to be thankful for.
Yes.
Especially in today's with everything going on. This is
That
so
I've
much.
been healthy this whole COVID. I mean, it's not over yet, but
Right.
knocking on wood, I would remain the same healthy that I have been. So, yes.
Yes, indeed.
You know, I don't even really think anybody should be doing anything, and like, just because I know people that's family, but you don't know where they've been and
Yeah,
who
it's
they've
so
seen
risky.
on a daily basis, and
Yeah.
even if you could just skip virtually have Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
set out their plates out on the porch for them to pick up.
Oh, okay. Like a little drive-by type
Yeah.
of thing. Like, do they do the parades and stuff now? Okay.
I mean, what if? I just want to say, like, if that's gonna keep your family member alive, because just because you have a good immune system doesn't mean that the next person does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that's just me, right? Like, what do I know? I'm by myself.
Yeah, it is. It's so crazy. Especially as it seems like more and more people are getting it now this second go round.
Yes, the second wave is hitting really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, you just never know. Like, even if you never get it, like, maybe the fact that you never got it was because you skipped out on Thanksgiving, you know, because you didn't go see certain family members. Because like, God knows, maybe you could be asymptomatic, but your family member isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, just be careful, guys, like,
Yes.
on how you guys are going to do it. Hey, I know that's family. If you guys want to do it how y'all want to do it, that's on y'all, but
Be safe while doing it.
wear masks.
Mask up.
And what is it, like, in nothing more than 6 people?
Yeah.
I'm Mexican girls. I mean, I don't have family, but do you know how Mexicans do?
I get that.
6 is just your, like,
Right.
instant family. Actually, there's probably all these Mexicans breaking the rules.
A lot of people still breaking the rules. Hell, it's restaurants still breaking the rules and doing, which I still don't understand that. Like how restaurants closed, but everything else is still open.
Yeah, I was telling Charlotte, like, I'm like, explain this to me. The restaurants are closed, but the gym extended their hours till 11. The movies are still open. Even they were like talking about that. They wanted to have the special etiquettes, and like the kindergarten start going back to class because they're like the smaller classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like,
Right.
but you're gonna close the restaurants.
Makes no sense.
And this last weekend was the last weekend that was nice out. So it was like the last weekend that everybody was actually able to be out.
Eat outside. Exactly. It was perfect to eat outside these past days.
Yes, but
That's the reality. No. By the time, I feel like, unless you're in one of those like heated tents, like eating outside, just it's not conducive because by the time your food gets there and it's outside, your food gonna get cold unless you scarf it down like quickly. Your food gonna be cold. I've seen some people sit outside, like they'll have their coats and stuff on, but I'm not about to eat outside, and it's not
than like 80-degree weather, so it's a no for me.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking like my food about to get cold quick. Like it's bad enough it don't even be like hyper hot sometimes, let alone that, and then outside and it's 40-degree weather. Like no, I won't be like I might as well just go home and eat my food, like take it to go or something. But unless like some of them do have the like the heated like tents, that would be the only ones I would go to if I had to go.
And I haven't even been to a restaurant to tell you the truth, so
Yeah.
it kind of don't. I feel for that industry.
Yes.
I haven't been to a restaurant since we closed down, so it doesn't doesn't hurt me, but I do feel for that industry because they kind of just, it's kind of like put your toe in. Guess what? We were just playing. And it's like Christmas is coming. Those people, that's how they make their living.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people don't have 2 jobs, you know. I feel for them. Christmas is coming. They have kids, and now like you're sitting here, we don't know whether our restaurant's going to close down, whether they're going to be able to keep it this second time around, because we've talked about it. Like the whole thing is that you guys are sitting here telling us we're going to close down, we're going to do this, but you guys are not doing anything to help us.
Exactly.
So of course you're still going to have the people that are going to go out, they're going to do this, they're going to do that because they have to. Like you're not giving any means of help. Why? Because you said that we didn't have to pay your light bill for 2 months. Guess what? The 3rd month came, and all those people saw those bills and like, oh, now you owe us 4 or 5 months.
Because they're not saying that you don't have to pay. They just saying like it'll be pushed back, but that bill is still gonna be the same. Like, so,
and now your lights are turned out, and you don't even know if you're gonna be able to go to work tomorrow. Like I feel for those people. Like thankfully, you and I have been able to like nothing changed. Thankfully, hasn't changed. But what about those people whose life did change and couldn't pay their bills last month, and now they're again in this situation where like, damn, are we gonna close down again? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
So just be careful, because I feel that the safer we are, maybe these numbers will go down and we'll be able to open at some capacity.
Right.
Back
Exactly. Yeah, because as long as our numbers are consistently staying high, there's no way we're gonna open.
Yeah, well, I told you right now, U.S. is like the number 1 with hospitalizations across. Like we have like 1 million, I want to say, of people in the hospital for COVID. So I think we have been horrible at handling this. Our system is completely broken. It's kind of like, you know, when there's a really smart kid in the classroom that everybody thinks they're smart, and then like you realize that, oh, he's just really dumb. He just has this really good confidence, so everybody just
follows. Yep. So
that's us. That's us right now. Like they're like, damn, all this time we've been played.
Definitely, we definitely have. We definitely have.
Yes. But today we are going to speak about 2 young ladies here from Illinois. Vanessa Ceja Ramirez, which this was a very recent case, and Ruth George, which is almost exactly a year old. Which one do you want to do first?
We can do Ruth.
Okay. So Ruth was almost exactly from a year ago. I don't watch the news, so I didn't see this. I don't know if you saw it, because I know you watch the news religiously. So this is how I get my news, guys. Like, I was telling you, I was laughing when I was researching this, because I was thinking about the pilot. I was like, I didn't see this, but I'm like, I don't watch the news. And I'm like, I get all my news from Charlotte. I'm like, I'd be the one that like they announce like in a zombie apocalypse, and I'd be so unprepared because I didn't watch the news yesterday.
Did you see that?
Like it's going on today. Like I'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, I'd be so unprepared, freaking out, because I don't watch the news.
Yes, I be trying to stay abreast of things just so I can stay up to current events.
So did you see this?
I did not see this. No, I did not.
I was trying to remember, what did I do last year? Like, this was around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how I missed it, because normally, like, if I don't see it on actual news, then I'll see it like on my news feed or something like
When
that.
I tell you that she Googles news every day, I don't know that I don't know, because I don't know how to like protect my energy from all that. So I feel like I just don't watch the news.
Oh.
I'm like, just go let it roll. But this was almost a year ago, and she was raped and found with like half her clothes off in the back of her car. And this is a reality that we live in, that, you know, you're walking down the street and you get catcalled all the time. Like, there is not one woman on this earth that this has not happened to.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen this happen to, I remember, like, I was like 12 when this was happening to me. So, like, I know, like, it starts at a very young age. And what do they tell you? Don't talk to them. Don't call, like, don't, you know, bring yourself attention. Just keep walking. And this is exactly what she did.
Right.
And this ended up happening to her.
Exactly. It's just something so simple. It's just like you try to ignore a person and not give them any attention, and then something like that goes and happens. So for me, I know just in cases like that, I have when people will say something, I try to avoid conflict by just smiling and just keep walking. Like, no, I'm not interested. Because sometimes I've had instances where they will get irate and like, or bitch, call you out your name or something like that. So I try to keep the confrontation down, contact, but very minimal, and be like, no, thank you, appreciate the compliment or something, and try to keep it moving.
But this seems like that's what she did. So it was really early in the morning. It was 1:35 around that time, and I want to say she was trying to go home from school. She was a UIC student, and she lived in Naperville. She was studying kinesiology. I think I said it right.
Yeah, physical therapy. Because I'm like, what is that?
I wanted to use the big word. I was going to say it was physical therapy afterwards. Okay, look, it's because I told Google to teach me how to say it. I want to show off.
You know what? I was like, what in the world is that? Yeah.
You don't let me be great.
I'm sorry. I tried.
And she died of strangulation. So from what it seems is that because the guy that did it, Donald Thurman, he did end up confessing. He did say what happened. So he said that he was mad because he thought that she was pretty and he kept trying to call her attention, and she just ignored him. Why? Because she didn't want nothing to do with him. So that's what they tell you. Just ignore the person. Don't agitate the situation. Don't call back. Don't talk back. Don't nothing. That is exactly what she did. So he followed her to the garage where her car was at and grabbed her from behind, put her in a chokehold position, strangled her, dragged her in the back seat. And the timings are so like, because it got, as I'm reading this, like, I think this is one of the cases that Chicago police actually like worked on so fast.
I think it was just, honestly, I feel like it was more of a luck thing.
Yeah. And you know what, though? I also feel that because of the area that it was, which is a university,
exactly,
it's a very, like, they have a lot of cameras because of the business, so it was just kind of
I don't think they worked any faster than they did anything else. I just think that it just happened. So
I do feel that they didn't even tell you why. Because it's a university area and a lot of money comes from there because they have students that come from other parts.
So that's why.
But that's why they worked fast on it. Okay. That's why I'm saying they did work fast, and I feel that they did work fast on it because it's kind of like, don't stop. Yeah, the money. Don't stop sending your children to the school. Like, look, we found out who it was.
Exactly.
It's money. Because
come down.
I'm not saying she didn't deserve this, but had it happened in a city college,
it would have just like
where Malcolm X is,
it would have been on nothing.
Nothing.
Yep. And luckily, like, he knew he was gonna get caught because he was like, his DNA was everywhere. He didn't go for with actually sexually penetrating her. They did find a condom and everything. They just said that I guess he did oral, stuck his fingers in her type of thing. But it's just sick that you threw your whole life, like he was already out on parole already for robbery. Like, you just threw
He only did 2 years. I mean, he had already thrown his life out.
Exactly.
Because he was supposed to do 6 and he was out in 2.
Exactly. So you get out and then you go and do something because somebody rejected you. So you go and kill somebody and assault them. Like
you were angry.
Right. Like, really, like, you've never been rejected before. But this is the type it's scary out here. It is really scary. So it's just like sometimes you just gotta pick and choose your battles. Like I know she thought like maybe if I just ignore him, he'll go away. And because I've seen it and I've been a witness to like they be like, well, fuck you then, bitch, or you ain't all of that. Like I'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be like, no, thank you, and just try to keep them moving
And
to get away.
I also feel that because she was a woman of color, how we're brought up to we don't say anything, we don't talk back. So I feel that was why she acted that way, because always our safest bet is to not say anything. And it backfired. It's like, damn if you don't. Like, even if you pick and choose your battles, like, maybe she would have been louder, yelling, like, you know, it would have been like, why is this crazy girl, like, yelling on the top of her lungs type of thing. Maybe somebody would have came and, like, it's just like
it's so many what ifs. It's
Yes.
just like, you just don't know, like, even because he came up behind her and choked her out, like, she didn't even see it coming at that point. Or just, like, if you see somebody, like, maybe just being aware, like, hey, this person is here approaching me or something, but it still wouldn't.
I think she felt it, though. Like, I think as a woman, we always feel it, and I think I mean, I don't know what her last thought, but I think as women, we have this big intuition, and I think she felt it, and I think in her mind was like, as long as I get to my car, like, that is my safest, like, she felt that was her safest place to be, and it wasn't, like, you know, it's sadly that it wasn't. I think I would have thought the same thing, like, let me just get to my car, because I get in, I lock in all the doors, whatever the case is, because I mean, it was 1:35 in the morning,
Right.
and I do want to say that she felt, like, I think she felt him, and I think she was like, if I call someone, it's just going to agitate the situation, because he's going to know. So let me just get to my car. Maybe she was like, once I get to my car, I'll call who I need to call. And unfortunately, she did get to her car, but she wasn't able to call anyone. The reason why
she didn't get to her car. He's choked out and dragged her back to her car.
Yeah, well, like, she didn't get that chance to, like, feel safe in her car.
Right.
The reason why I tell you that I do feel that the police acted really fast on it was because they got in touch with CTA and got, like, all the surveillance tapes, and this is why I tell you, like, I feel that they did work really fast on it. So after they viewed all the tapes, they put, like, a travel pattern on him, on when he was in the blue line, the times where he would get off, where he would, like, get on. So then by that Sunday, because this happened, like, Wednesday, I want to say, by that Sunday, they were staking out the blue line, and that's where they caught him. And that's why I feel like the police actually worked fast on this, because they established a travel pattern on him. And they're like, okay, these are the times that he goes out, that he does this. So think about how many tapes they had to watch to establish this pattern. So I do feel that the police, for once, I mean, it's because of the money at the end of the day.
It is. It's all about the money. It definitely is, and who you are. That's what it boils down to.
But it leaves one less person out in the street. I wonder if he had ever done this before.
Right.
Because as we've researched, as you and I have researched this, as we've gone through cases, as we got all the information, these people don't just do it once. And like we just seen when we did the Y News with the 18-year-old, that was his cousin. So I'm like, would he have never been told on or caught? Would he have elevated to doing it to another woman, to do it to someone else? Like,
or this could have been his first, and he would say, if he thought he gotten away with it, he probably would have did it. He would have went the whole nine, like, because he didn't, do everything. But had he got away with that, he probably wouldn't have done it again.
Yes. So it's crazy. It's insane, because I believe as a woman, you're like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. Like, how do I react in this situation? Because if you think about it, everything that we're taught, she kind of did. Ignore him. It's late at night. Just get to your car. Get to where you need to go. Ignore him. And it didn't help her. Had she yelled, maybe it would have been worse. Maybe it would have been
ran or something.
Yes. Like, and I think it goes back into the like I'm trying to like place myself in that situation, and it goes into like you don't show someone fear. So at her running or screaming, it would show him fear, and it goes into your mind into like, well, now it's easier for him to get me because he knows I'm scared. So her just ignoring him, it's like I don't care.
I mean, I guess, but it just felt like I'm looking at the time of night type of thing. Like, I'd rather scream and run to bring attention to myself than thinking, like, if I stay
But there's
home.
nothing there either. Because you know where it was, right? It was like on Harrison and Halsted. There's nothing
I thought
there.
they had that blue light there on Harrison, like, right past the aisle. Because it's like blue lights.
But sometimes they're not on.
Because I'm like, I go past there and I see all those lights.
Sometimes they're not even on. So, and there's nothing there. There's not really.
It's not a lot of traffic.
No,
it's not. It's not a lot.
Because it's mostly like the campus, like the big building. So it's not really like a 7-Eleven or something that like a Walgreens, because you know how they have them. They have them more on the other side of Harrison, like going towards the other way. So it was just kind of like, what do you do?
It's so sad. It's so sad.
It is, because she had her whole life like ahead of her. She was like, you know how they say, well, like, why were you out at night, or why
she
were
was
you
coming
drinking?
from a social thing for her class, the Delta. What is it? Her
sorority.
Yeah, it was a sorority thing. It was that she was coming from. She was coming from France. Obviously, that they, everybody went their separate ways, but it wasn't like she was just out doing God knows what.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're going to school, you're doing everything right. So like even how the media tries to paint women, like, why were you drinking? She was doing everything right. She was going to school. She was in a sorority, and like I know like those meetings are like, or parties or whatever, social gatherings. Like some of them are like you have to go, like you can't miss because you're part of this type of thing.
Yeah, what is it called? Delta Epsilon or something. She was coming from the event, so it's just sad.
And then like imagine, because the people that found her in the car were her family.
Yeah, because it was her sister.
Yes, because like by 11, I guess they're like, okay, so where is she at? Like this, you know your family, you know their patterns. Like this isn't like her, and I guess like they got the cell phone to ping to the last place, and it was her car. And imagine that, like finding your sister, your brother, your family member in that position. Not only like that, but have her clothes wear off. Like to know that you went through that as you were killed, like as you were dying. Like like, because it wasn't just like the police coming out and like, oh, we found her.
You're right. To find her and you trying to resuscitate her to no avail. Like, it's bad.
It's bad.
I mean, that's something that she's going to have to live with that, and it's embedded in her brain forever. Like, to get that vision out your head, you're finding your sister dead. Like, I don't know.
Yep. I tried finding stuff in this case too because I'm nosy, and thankfully, like Cook County, like they make all the records public, but that's one statement sentence. So all I could really find from this was that he was in a bail bond. So he's still in there. Nothing has moved on this case, but I hope that they give him.
That's the biggest thing. It's just like
how long are they gonna? And then okay, we're gonna give you time. Are you actually gonna do the whole time this time?
Exactly.
Because now you're just gonna in 2 years let another rapist out and count this as time served because he's been in there.
Yep. But if the family has the money, he'll say.
I think her mom is a doctor in Virginia, like she's the head of something.
He'll stay.
So I hope that he does, like,
because
even the neighborhood that she lived in, like, she lived in Naperville, so like,
yeah,
I do hope that.
And then I did see like they had initially they had like ward money if you had any information and stuff like that. So I think had it been like somebody regular Joe Schmo.
Regular schmegular.
Exactly. It probably not, but because of like who she was, and I really hate to say that, like it's really sad, but she comes from a financially stable background, so I feel like she will get more justice than had it been somebody from, let's say, Malcolm X. It's really sad. Just even them getting on it right away to find the footage and do things and to find it, and literally took no time, less than a week, probably maybe a week or so, and they got a case. Luckily, he admitted to doing it, so it's not like he say like, "Oh no, that wasn't me." They got the DNA. They got all the ducks in a row to convict him, lock him up for a very long time. Yeah. Now, if they don't,
I also think that they might, just because I told you, because it's linked to the university.
Mm-hmm. They have to prove
so
a point. There have to be a point, like you're not going to get away with this type of thing.
Yep, I feel like because it's linked to the university, and the university brings money.
Yeah, and like especially if that family was like a driven-in family or something like that. Yeah, definitely. We're going to make sure this person never comes out again. So, and I just hate that you pick and choose who you're going to give it to.
Every victim should have this treatment.
Yes, every victim.
I don't want to take away from her because she should
exactly. But I feel like every victim, and they have all the evidence, should be prosecuted to the fullest. And I'm not talking about no 1 to 3 years for taking away my life. I'm talking about serious time.
You know what? I bet you that he's gonna do more time for the killing of her than for sexually assaulting her.
Yeah.
Had he, like, let's just say he hadn't killed her, he just sexually assaulted her.
Yep. And that'll be the only way it's sticking because of he killed her.
Because had he just sexually assaulted her, they wouldn't have looked at the videotapes. They wouldn't have looked, which is so sad that, like, I had to die in order to have justice for being sexually assaulted, because that's what it is at this point. That is the only way you're going to look at it. That is the only way that you're going to investigate it if I die.
Exactly. I would like to know, we talked about this case like early in the beginning, the case with the lady at the place downtown who went out to the alley.
At the hair fair, I think it was?
I would like to know what happens to that case, because these are cases like, who goes to revisit it and said, well, this is where we are now. It's still pending. There's been charges made, brought up, or something like that. Like, that's the biggest thing.
And I'm not sure their excuse right now is like, oh, it's because of COVID.
It's COVID. Everything is, it's too late. It's a COVID. So it's really disturbing that so many cases go unsolved, or they just get dismissed and they just get pushed to the back of the list.
They do. It's so... Even like the one we're going to talk about next, like, I feel like it should have been time for them to find something with everything that they have. But again, like you said, money makes people take things seriously.
Yes.
So the next one that we're going to talk about, this one literally just happened like a week ago. It's Vanessa Ceja Ramirez. She's 22. And she was last seen Monday afternoon of last week. She was found beaten, raped, and she was set on fire. And I have so many questions. Like, I have so many questions about the whole thing. So it wasn't until like one of the last articles that I seen that a friend was with them. It was the mom. Like, no, but there was another friend that was with them.
Right, it was 3 of them. Yeah, and she walked back to the.
Well, a lot of the articles only mentioned the mom. They're like, oh, she was with her mom, and like, at least the ones that I seen, she was with her mom and she went back to the car. Some of them say that she went back to the car because she forgot something. Some of them say that she went to the car because, she was tired.
All the articles was different because I didn't see any of them with the rape and the ones I just seen the strangulation and the burn. So all of them was different. I was like, where are they getting this?
And then some of them said that she just like kind of decided to go a different way. But at the end of the day, the story was that they were supposed to meet in the car, regardless of wherever she went. They were supposed to meet in the car. And this is where I have so many questions. So after her mom walked back to the car, she didn't find her, and she was like, okay, I'm worried. So they called the cops. The cops come with the dogs. The helicopters are like going off. You know what's so crazy though? This happened Monday afternoon, and I was thinking about it. I was over there Sunday, because where I go pick up my food is around there. And
Oh,
I
in
took
Midlothian?
the street. It's kind of around there. Like
Oh.
if I take the streets, I
Oh,
I
you
drive
did
by
say
there.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I took the streets and I thought about it. And here's the thing: there's this meme that says, I always want to go hiking or go to the forest preserve, and then I remember I'm a girl. And I literally just had this conversation with my brother. And I told him, I was like, I really want to go to the forest preserve. Like, I really want to go walking. You know, I love to do stuff by myself. And he's like, why don't you go? And I was like, because I'm a girl. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, do you know anything that could happen? Like, so he sat down. He's like, I don't live with that fear. Of course he doesn't because he's a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, wow. And I was like, I can't do that by myself because I'm a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this happened, and I was just like, bro, like she kind of wasn't even by herself.
Exactly.
But like to know that you can't even walk back, and like I've been dying. When I tell you, I've been dying to go, especially like these days that it had been nice, because Monday it was still nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been dying to go on a hike, but I'm a very like I love to do it by myself, and I'm like that I can't even go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this just proved everything. So when the cops come and they have the helicopter, the dogs, so they did like I guess a 2-mile like search of like 2 square mile of that area, which was really small. See, and that's even the thing, like it wasn't even a
It
big.
doesn't make sense.
Well, usually those trails are small. They're like the biggest trail I've seen has been 11 miles long type of thing, but it goes into other kind of forest preserves. Usually they're really small. They're like 2 to 4 miles. So that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is what didn't make sense to me. So they searched for her, they didn't find her. So then it was her mom that found. This is why her mom called the cops, because her mom saw some of her clothes and her daughter was in there. So that's when the mom ended up calling too, because she went back to search for her. So they bring the dogs, they ping her cell phone and like her scent to like 2 miles away to like Oak Forest to a building there. They searched the building. I don't know how thoroughly they searched the building. And she wasn't there. So then come Wednesday, they find her. Because now like you have all these people looking for her. They find her in the forest preserve, tortured, burned, and raped. And I just have so many questions, because if you were looking from Monday to Wednesday, you have all these people looking,
Right.
and you thoroughly search with dogs, helicopters, and by foot.
Mm-hmm.
Either they brought her back, or she never left, and you guys really didn't search.
Right.
Like I have so many questions. Like, how do they bring her back? How can you bring her back? Because at this point, it wasn't like they weren't looking for her.
Right. It didn't make any sense to me. I was just like, wait, so y'all searched, didn't find nothing. Y'all went back, and then whoever it was brought the body back. But I mean, I guess there have been cases where they searched and then they go back, and then the car or something is there, and like I don't know. But I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't even have answers for that.
I have so many questions about this, because then it makes me think, like, was it one of the people that were helping search that did this? Because they know the area. I mean, it's obviously someone that knows the area, but that kind of knows what was going on to where it would be free for you to be able to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, like,
It was the day. It didn't make sense because it's like day and nobody saw anything, like nothing. Like the whole story of, first of all the articles, everybody had different stories. Like I said, one article have this, the next article have that. Like all the articles, it was like, who has the right story? Who has the real story? Because a lot of the articles that I did read, it was just like, this isn't coming from them. This is coming from like speculation. Like a lot of them I seen was just like speculation. This is what we're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I heard like there was not a concrete article, so I'm just like, I feel like there's more to this story.
Yeah, because then I started thinking, like, I was like, what if she, because you know how I did ping to the apartment,
Mm-hmm.
what if she like left to meet someone?
Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like. There's definitely more to the story,
And
I think it will come out in time, possibly.
who she went to meet, like,
Mm-hmm.
foul play type of thing. Like, that's what I started thinking about. I was like, but
Because it says, right, even in the articles, it was like they're not getting any information from the people, from her people, from the mom.
No, they said that they did. Well, the articles that I read, like her mom had given interviews and she like literally said what happened. But I read Spanish articles too.
That makes sense. I'm like, it was like
but I
all
was Spanish
over the place. It was all over the place. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's definitely more to the
I do feel like there's so much more because, like, how do you search? Because at this point, you were searching Monday, you were searching Tuesday, and you didn't find it until Wednesday. So I want to say that it's somebody because you know how they got all this team of people, volunteers. I feel like one of them knows something because
and just the time frame of her, like what was the time frame she went back to the car to the time she got the police, so like all of this like of what is happening here.
I thought I had the times written down.
Because and then it's like, was there anybody else on the path? Did they question anybody that made him say something?
That's what they're at right now, where they're like, if anybody has information, which I'm gonna give that number out because there's a $4K reward if any information is given that leads to the arrest. But they're looking at people that might have been on the path. So they're looking for people that like, if you were on that path, even if like you didn't see her, like call because you just never know what you can say. That happened, but like I said, because see, that's another thing. I don't know if you know this. The Forest Preserve closes at dawn, so like the moment it gets dark, it's closed.
Yeah,
and they have someone like literally,
it does.
Oh, so they have actually somebody going around making sure that there's nobody in there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're searching Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, let's say. Like, either you were like the luckiest person on earth that you were able to escape the searchers, and if you did it after like it was closed, then you were able to escape the person that goes around and watches.
Or what if it was the person who watches?
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's someone.
Like in one case, what was the movie? What was it? Oh, it was the podcast we listened to. The person, he was a security guard. He was the one who...
Oh, the one I made you listen to where he called his wife and he was like, I ran over her, but he didn't run over her. He actually beat her and grabbed her because he was a security guard. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the boldness and audacity, because they took her daylight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
So they didn't take her before 4. It had to happen like in the morning. I think it was in the morning. It was like 11 in the morning, midday.
Yeah. Broad daylight. Like, I don't know. And then, it's also, like, I hated, like, these masks. Like, I know they're to protect us, but it just gives so many people, criminals, leeway with the mask on. Because you don't, like, for me, with masks, it does give me anxiety. I told you this before. Like, I can't like see who you are. It bothers me. I don't want you in my area, my zone. Like, it freaks me out. So I feel like it's giving a lot of criminals leeway because I'm not able to be identified with this mask on. Just your eyes alone, you're like, you can have on a hat and a mask, and you really cannot see much of your face. Like, they're making it easy for criminals, in my opinion.
They are. I feel like this is so like sad and like it just I guess it just like made me so like uneasy too because when I tell you like I was just like literally this weekend I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Like not even this weekend but like before I saw this. And no, it was because Sunday is when I went to pick up my stuff. And I was literally driving through the Forest Preserve and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. I should just do it. Like, why am I being so scary? Like, come on, like get your shit together. And then when I read this story, I was just like, because I was going to go Sunday.
Wow.
And this happened to her Monday. And I was just like, I don't know why I didn't go. And it was around that area because I was like, I have never been to that Forest Preserve. So I was like, I've never been to this Forest Preserve. I was like, I should really go. I was like, but I don't want to go by myself because I'm a girl. And then I'm by myself. And I was just like, no, I'm not gonna go. I was like, because I had the food and it was kind of warm, and I was like, I don't want my food to go bad. So she's like, fuck it, I'll just do it like maybe next weekend or whatever. And look at this. And now I'm like, I'm definitely not gonna go.
Right.
Like, I ain't going. Nope. And it's something so simple like that.
Exactly. And it wasn't like she was out there by herself. She was out there with people, and she just happened to walk back to her car. So it's just like, even if you want with somebody, it still don't mean anything. Like,
So
I'm just going to get my water bottle because you feel for like, oh, I'm going to run back and go get my water bottle. Like,
I wonder how far away she was from her car from where they were at. And then I also wonder if it was just like pure luck. Like, not luck, but like pure like chance that like it wasn't even planned. Like, whoever did it to her, just, it was the opportunity. Like, because, like, it sounds sick, but it was so, like, perfectly played out, because even how they I want to say that they brought her back. Like, I feel like they brought her back.
Right.
Because as many things as you brought to look for her, that helicopters.
And a burning body, you have to stand right there, the smell of death. I could even.
And the smoke.
Like, yes. Like,
and you know what's so funny? Because this is, I'm telling you, like, the thoughts that I've been having. As I was as I was driving through the forest preserve, I was thinking about you and my best friend, and you know how, like, I've been giving you guys, like, shadow work and all that. And I was like, you know what, I was like, where can you set up, this was my thought. I was like, where can you set a fire and, like, not get in trouble? Because my whole thing is, like, once we're done with the journals, like, I want to burn them for, like, you know, for us to release it. Like, and I was like, I wonder if you could set a fire in the forest. Like, I'm telling you, like, I felt sick to my stomach when I read this story. Because it's like, I was like, I wonder if you could set a fire in the forest preserve. I'm like, oh, then I'm like, the people that watch the forest preserve are going to come and you're going to get in trouble. And, like, I was just like, oh my God, like, I ain't even trying to deal with that.
right.
And, like, literally, like, when I read this story, like, I was so sick to my stomach, because I'm like, every thought that I had that Sunday, like, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go fuck it. And then I was like, where can you set it? Because I was like, oh, like, you know, so we could release it type of thing. And I'm like, if you set fire to this girl, wherever you set fire to her, like, there's smoke coming. Like,
and the smell alone of a body burning.
I've never smelled a body burning. Given it was outside, so I don't know.
You would smell it. You would smell it. So all of those things is like they either had to bring it back.
And where did you burn her?
Right.
Where did you burn her that people didn't, like you said, if it smelled, people didn't smell this?
Exactly.
They didn't see the smoke, because I also want to assume that when a body's set on fire, it doesn't, like, just slightly smoke type of thing.
No, right? like barbecue or something. Like,
yeah, like, I want to say that, like, it picks up fire type of thing. And then, like, after you burned her and did all that, you picked her up and brought her back.
Right.
Or if you did it there, let's say that they didn't search for her as well as...
They say they did.
If you did it there, nobody saw the smoke. You have the helicopters. You have this team of people searching since Monday.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense at all.
Like, at all. Like, I have so many questions. I need answers. Like, I'm about to, like, private investigate this, because I have so many questions. Like, I have so many questions. It made me so sick because of, like, the thoughts that I was having the day before. Because I was even gonna text my ex-girlfriend. I used to go fishing at the forest preserve in LaGrange, and there's little things where you could actually do, like, little fires. Because I was thinking about it, and I was gonna text her and be like, hey, can you set a fire in the forest preserve and, like, not get in trouble? Like, it literally, like, this whole thing made me so sick, because I was gonna go for a walk, because I was like, why am I so scared? Like, I have to stop being afraid. And I had been seeing that meme, and then I'm like, this is so gross, like, in so many levels. Like,
yes,
was it chance? Had you been sitting there for weeks, for days, looking for someone? Had I gone by, because I was gonna go by myself. Like, was that just the day you decided to do it, and like, she showed up, and then, like, you're like, oh, she's with her mom and her friend, but then you saw her by herself. And then I want to know, like, if they picked up her scent and her cell phone like 2 miles away at that restaurant, at that building,
yeah.
how well did you search that building?
Mm-hmm.
Because were y'all like, oh, we don't have a warrant, so we can't go inside the building, and that's it?
Right, because it doesn't, yeah.
Does she know anyone at that building?
Right.
I have so many questions. Like, so many questions.
It definitely doesn't make any sense.
At all. I do want to give out the number. So the Cook County Sheriff, they're searching for any information. There is a reward for $4,000, and any information given, like if you were on the trail that day, if you saw something, even if you think it's like the smallest thing, if you know nothing, if you know something, if you know something like, people talk, and I'm pretty sure that who did this is not staying quiet.
Exactly.
If you know something like this was, just think about the fact that, like, I know times we've touched on this, how we lose empathy, and it's not till it happens to you. So think about the fact that this had happened to your sister, your daughter, your mom, your friend, your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way that she was found, what they did to her, they haven't released her autopsy results to an extent, but God knows if she was tortured like that whole time. Like, if, let's say that he had just killed her Wednesday, she was tortured Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Wednesday.
Right.
Because I do feel that maybe he kept her for a while,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe a day, and then when he realized that, like, shit.
Right.
Because she was going to tell, like, you know what I'm saying? When I guess maybe he realized that there was so much movement around her or for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just imagine someone that you love being placed in that position. Because she wasn't just, like, raped. She was tortured, like,
right,
burned,
strangled, yeah.
Like, it went beyond it. Like, beyond you just trying to, like, sexually assault her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was so beyond it. So, I wanted to, like, was it personal? Like, did you know her?
Right. I just feel like with this, it just doesn't, so many unanswered questions. Like, I feel like it's possible it could have been someone she knew. Like, it just doesn't add up for it to just happen that quickly. Like, I don't know how long it took for them to come back to the car type of thing. Like, what, did she have an enemy or ex-boyfriend or something like that that was vindictive or psycho or anything like that? Like, it's just so many questions. Like, I feel like it's more to the story.
I need answers. But if you guys have any information, please call the Cook County Sheriff. That number is 708-865-4896. Again, that's 708-865-4896. And honestly, any information that you have, like, even if you think it doesn't matter, just if you were there that day, as simple as that, maybe you saw a car or something that they haven't been able to see, or whatever the case is, even if you didn't see her, and if you do have any information.
Yes, any tips will definitely help.
Yes, but do you want to let them know where to find us?
Absolutely. So guys, don't forget to rate us on iTunes, share us, and subscribe. We are available wherever your podcasts are available. Check us out on IG. Follow, like, share, subscribe, _girls.like.us. Go ahead and shoot us an email. Let us know what you think about today's episode or any other episode for that matter. Give us your opinions and thoughts, or if you have any great ideas for us, we would love to hear. Email us at girlslikeuss619@gmail.com. Follow, like, share us on Facebook as well at girlslikeuss619. Feel free to give us a call at 312-480-4101. Voicemails and texts are an option for you guys. Donations are accepted via Cash App at $, Girls Like Us Podcast. We will take anything. $1, $2, $3. Yes, it definitely will go a long way. We do appreciate the support.
And the people that have donated,
thank you.
We appreciate it so much.
Yes.
And the National Sexual Assault Hotline, that number is 800-656-HOPE. 800-656-4673. Thanks for listening to Girls Like Us. I was going to say thanks for calling.